This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, like we say each and every Saturday morning, welcome to the buffoonery, to the foolery that we have. A lot of fun we have on Saturday mornings. If you're listening in your car, 100.1 FM. Remember, you can like us on social media at the W Show KC. Good morning, y'all.
What's shaking?
He tried to come in here and be all modest, like he didn't have a.
If your baseball team won, raise your hand.
Who's your team?
Dodgers, man. Come on, man.
Oh,
I have no idea why he, like, as kids, he never liked the Dodgers. He never liked the 49ers. He never liked none of these teams. He liked the Chiefs. He liked the Royals.
You lying. You're lying.
You saying he jumped ship?
He did.
Man.
He
Listen
did.
here, man.
I just jumped ship, man.
First of all,
You
man,
walked the plank?
First off, this is supposed to be a God-fearing man. I'm not telling these lies on a Saturday morning, man. I know what I was. Come on, baby.
He tried to.
Man. Come on, the Sandlot.
Nah, he buys one jersey for the Dodgers.
He bought a jersey.
Yeah, and then he buys one T-shirt.
First off, I didn't buy that jersey. I won that jersey in a bet because I said if my team, which is the Dodgers, beat your team, which was the Giants, Sandy Koufax jersey. Hey, man, come on, man.
Oh, it was a Koufax jersey. I was about to say, why does he have a Dodgers? But okay,
that's Sandy Koufax. Yeah, because I know my history. You can't name a pitcher from 1950 for the Royals.
What?
Name him.
Why do I need to name a picture from?
You're not a fan.
I am a fan.
Okay.
But that don't mean I need to name a picture from.
2015.
Listen.
Only games they went to is one of the ones that we went to for free. Remember when you go to Royals games and sit in the front row and stuff because there's like 8 people there? It's kind of like that.
The Royals was playing in the 50s?
No,
I never.
That's why
I'm like, he makes no sense.
I was about to start doing my Google.
My team was playing in the 50s, though. Brooklyn Dodgers.
Man, I'll tell you who was playing in the 50s. The Monarchs. See this hat I got on today?
Yeah, that's it.
I'll turn around for the people. The Monarchs, baby.
Yeah, it was good.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
And if you want some names, people from the Monarchs.
You know, you got two.
Yeah.
Paige and Jackie. Where did Jackie play for?
Come on, man.
Brooklyn Dodgers. That's right.
Hey,
that's right.
Come on.
You
right. Just said you was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan.
No, I'm saying, but he went from the Monarchs. He was the first black man to play for the Dodgers, which which became the LA Dodgers. Okay. Yeah. History, man. You know, that's why I love it.
He wasn't only the first black man to play for the Dodgers.
He was not the only.
But I'm just saying.
He was the first.
Yeah, he was the first. Not only the Dodgers, though, in the MLB.
I know.
In all of baseball.
All of baseball.
So you don't
Speaking
lie
of
to
baseball,
the people.
The Los Angeles Dodgers advanced and the Kansas City Royals didn't.
All right, we're going to dive into today's show, man. We got a lot to talk about. Of course, since he wants to talk baseball, we're going to bring up the Royals. Of course, they lost the ALDS to the Yankees. We'll dive into that. Plus, we'll talk some Minnesota Twins. They're up for sale. We'll talk some Packers. We'll talk Jets. Of course, we'll have our sneakers of the week coming up in about 30 minutes. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Now, the Kansas City Royals lose the ALDS to the New York Yankees. Man, the Royals are hoping that this season, I would say it's a
fluke.
No, I would say it's definitely a positive season.
It's a block. It's a building block, isn't it?
Yep. They're hoping that this can catapult them into next season. And Of course, the 3-1 loss, Game 4, ALDS, the Yankees. But there were tight games. You know, it's not like they just got blew off the face of the earth, right? Like they actually stayed in the games. Let's hear from Royals shortstop Bobby Witt Jr.
It's tough. It's not what you want. Yeah, that's really it. It just kind of feels like you let a lot of people down whenever you do things like this, but part of the game, kind of something that will light a torch in you and leave you a bad taste for the future, because now for the Kansas City Royals baseball, this is what we want. This is what we're going to do every year. We're going to be in the postseason. Now it's how far we're going to go. It's not how we're going to get there. It's how far we're going to go. And so that's what we're going to work for, and that's what we're going to do. That's the goal. That's
what they're going to work for. That's what they're going to do. He said this is the new Kansas City baseball. Here's the thing about them facing the Yankees. I was optimistic, very optimistic. The Yankees have one of the best lineups in baseball. You being a Dodgers fan, you can definitely say that they have one of the best lineups in baseball.
Stanton, Soto,
Judge. Yeah. Stanton, Soto, Judge. Then you got Jazz Chisholm. Their middle of the lineup is
dangerous,
very dangerous. And I think with the Royals, they kind of they lost this series when they gave up. They left runner stranded on base. They walked some guys, and they didn't. Aaron Judge didn't go off like Aaron Judge could go off, right? Like he had one hit, maybe 2 hits in the whole series, and things just didn't go the Royals' way. Like they had solid hits. The first hit from Bobby Witt Jr. in the whole series came, in Game 3 Game 4 when he, hit a shallow hit to right field, single to right field, and then he had some other solid hits, but they were all catchable in the outfield.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they should have, captured the opportunity when you didn't have Aaron Judge going off, but Giancarlo Stanton, man, batting at DH, he was on fire.
He's a beast.
Yeah. He had, what did he have? 3 RBIs. He had a home run in this series. I feel like they just couldn't master. They couldn't keep up with the power that the Yankees had.
And you was going against Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole.
Listen.
So the Yankees, did they buy a team or did they build?
Everybody.
They built it.
I mean, just buying a team and building a team. I mean, it's all part of the game, right?
I mean, because your team buys.
We don't. No. Let's do this over again. Let's do this over again. We have one of the best farm systems. Gavin Lux, Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw. Okay. These are guys that came up through our farm system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, come on, don't do this to us, whatever, man. I mean, we got Ohtani, okay. Mookie Betts, okay. But the majority of our players are players that are actually doing something.
I got you.
Mookie didn't hit any bats. Ohtani didn't have any home runs, right?
Mm-mm.
Right?
Well, I know because I bet on him.
I did too. It was all our farm system players. Yeah. We have a phenomenal farm system. That's how we was able to get Mookie Betts, because of the farm system that we have with some of the players that are now on other teams. To where the Royals, they use their farm system to help out the MLB.
I mean, that's a fact.
Hey, listen.
They haven't done it anymore. Hey, that's what they've done in the past.
Not in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Part of the game is spending the money, and spending the money is part of the game. So, for the other MLB teams, they need to get their money up.
And so what do the Royals need to do going into spring training in February?
Nah, I think pitching was the not the top priority, I think, in this series. The reason why they lost, I think it was their offense.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have.
So they need
Bobby Witt Jr. didn't show Bobby Witt Jr. from I think post All-Star break.
So it's more bats that they need than pitching.
Mm-hmm. Salvi didn't come alive. I think Salvi had 1 home run. He didn't come alive. MJ Melendez didn't do much. They took Tommy Pham out of the lineup in Game 3.
And I was like, man, game 2 to close out New York.
Listen,
he was balling. He's instant offense.
He was clutch for the Diamondbacks to help them
exactly
get to the World Series, whatever. And so
when you don't have offense, you need to find somebody who can bring it. They took him out of the lineup in game 3, and then 9th inning, you were struggling the whole game. 9th inning, you go put Tommy Pham in there, and he comes up with a hit.
Yeah,
one of the only hits of the game.
And to speak of your big money, is Kiki Hernandez hit the home run yesterday to start it off for the Dodgers. And then the guy, I can't pronounce his first name, the oldest winner of the home run derby. Yeah. He's a no-name player.
Teoscar,
yeah. You hit a home run or whatever. These are not big names. It's just good, solid baseball players.
You see how he's changed. We changed him. I can't pronounce his name, but instead of butchering,
public, yeah.
we learning him, Q.
just a touch.
If you guys watch our show, you know that this guy butchers everybody's name.
Can't read.
It's that Van Horn education, baby.
Hey, man. Yeah, I still made it, and I can't read, baby. You know, hey, listen, like my boy Rick Ross. I can't read over a 3rd grade level, but I got millions stacked up.
So, do y'all think that this will catapult the Royals into the future?
You would hope, because I mean they're still looking for a new stadium, and if they want the city, us, to pay for it, they're gonna have to turn out some wins.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that across the parking lot, the other team, the other local team, is stringing along some wins.
But it's funny you say that. When they were going, even wild card, none of that even came. Like, none of it came up. It kind of just went out the window, and everybody just enjoyed October baseball, which is wild. Like, you would think that that'd be on the top of everybody's mind. Like, oh, well, the Royals, they trying to get this new stadium, but they trying to, none of that even came up.
Because it's Chiefs season still. If the Chiefs weren't playing, and that's when all the hoopla started happening about the stadium soon, right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And leading up to it, actually. So yeah, they need to keep winning. They need a big splash. I mean, it's probably so far gone that they're going to get Patrick Mahomes of baseball, or a they already had
Bobby Witt. Is that
he could be?
Yeah,
he could be. Because he's up there. I mean, what he led the AL in slugging this year. So I mean, that's a possibility. And they've already had their Travis Kelce type in Hosmer. So they need to they need to catch that lightning in a bottle again.
Yeah.
And does it come from the farm system? Probably not. But there has to be a string of players that you could bring in again that could wake up the bats, but then also like be solid on defense.
And it was a surprise too, I feel like, because if you guys can remember back in 2015, the Royals made some significant moves in like going into, they knew that they were playoff contention. So they're like, hey, we're gonna make some moves. We're gonna go get Johnny Cueto, James Shields from the Cubs. We're gonna do some different things.
They grabbed a pitcher too. But I think he ultimately ended up going to the Cubs. But yeah,
we're gonna go get all these guys, and we know we got a solid bullpen to where inning 7, 8, 9. If you ain't ahead and we ahead, we got HGH out there. Y'all not gonna do anything to it. I mean, that's just what it was. And I think now it's like ain't nobody scared of your bullpen, right? Like you mentioned Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole pitched the whole game.
It's cold. Watching it right now. Celebration 7 innings, 6 hits.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett Cole was lights out, and they had it. Now the Royals did have an opportunity. They did have an opportunity to knock Garrett Cole out of the game. They had one on, I think, where Ty Run was at the plate. Lightning hit out to right field. I thought it was gone. I'm standing up like, and it right. Yeah, it is. Any other stadium in New York that was out of there.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium is out.
So I mean, they got a lot to build on. We saw Bobby Witt Jr. He pulled the Stephon Diggs. As Stephon Diggs, Buffalo Bills lost the AFC Championship game 2 years by the Chiefs, and stood at the back as a confetti fell, stood out on the field. Bobby Witt Jr. did that, where they left him out, where he stood out in the dugout watching the Yankees celebrate.
He can always put on the other blue and white jersey and watch the confetti fall.
Oh my
in
goodness.
his favor.
Oh my goodness. Let me ask y'all this: who wins the Super Bowl first, Stephon or Super Bowl or pennant? Stephon Diggs or Bobby Witt Jr.
Diggs.
Oh, okay.
Diggs is in Houston now.
He's in Houston.
The Royals are not winning the World Series anytime soon, man. The money is too large, man. Listen, they're paying that young man right there, number 18 for the Dodgers, $300-something million.
Yeah, I mean,
come on,
you got a lot of players out there, but the Tigers had him on. I mean, the Padres had him on the ropes.
Padres
they had him on the ropes.
They
Tatis Jr.'s balling, man.
It's $200 man. They bankroll's not low. You acting like listen, they spent money, and those are good players right there.
Yeah.
All
right. NCAA moves to ditch national letters of intent, shortens transfer windows in football and basketball. So the NCAA announced Wednesday that players would no longer sign a national letter of intent when committing to a school. So for decades, of course, you guys know, players have always signed national letter of intent and doing like the ceremonies in high schools and on ESPN shows and all that, choosing the different hats. The NLI has been a standard since 1964, and it was basically viewed as a binding agreement between said player and said school. And once a player signs a national letter of intent, he can't go to another school unless the school that he's already signed to releases him. So going forward, players would sign a written offer letter of athletics aid with their school of choice, and other schools will be prohibited from recruiting players once the aid agreements are signed.
So what's the difference?
Formality, and allowing them not to be sued.
Yeah.
Because of course you guys know that, and we'll talk about it a little bit later in the show. The NCAA, of course, lost the $3 billion name, image, likeness, and I think that has somewhere in the black and white, deep down in there, there's something of I signed my national letter of intent to go to said school, Ohio State or Michigan or wherever, and that stopped me from doing XYZ with other schools.
And especially when you look at and this is going off the deep end, but when you have like a Sandusky situation in Penn State, and that unfolds, but you already have signed your letter of intent, and so that like locks you in.
Yeah. Or a coach leaving.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like there's in college, especially in college athletics, we always, not always, but we're used to seeing some sort of scandal. Right?
Yeah.
We've seen it with the coach that was, he was with Louisville and then went to Arkansas. Football. Football coach. I forget his name, but when he was in Arkansas, he crashed a bike riding with a side chick. And so he ended up getting fired and having to go to Kentucky State or something like that. Yeah. But when you have like these scandals, these players are really like left out hung to dry because the coach that comes in or the system that comes in, they don't want you. Yeah, they didn't select you. So I mean, I like this in a sense, but it doesn't seem much West. Different.
I seen that interview with Cam Newton saying when he wanted to leave Florida with Spurrier, and Spurrier said, "Okay, I'll release you, but you can't go to this school, this school, this school, this school." Right?
Yeah.
So what did he do? He said, "All right, I'm just gonna go." He went JUCO.
Yeah.
He went JUCO. He's like, "You're gonna limit my options to go to a top school, so I can, promote myself and be, a top pick to the player that he is, which become Heisman and #1 player."
Yeah. Or Bacon. No, he went to Bacon,
something
in Texas.
Yeah, he went to some school and then came out. The game has changed. The NLI is now substituted with the NIL.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we said this before. Some rules are going to change, and the college players needs a union. They need somebody, third party, to help protect them because this $1 billion industry, they're going to adapt and make sure that they get the players that they want to stay there, to stop the lawsuits, to stop the players from staying out like the UNLV kid or whatever, so they can get maximum production and maximum profit from the kids they bring in.
Yeah, the NCAA also announced that the transfer windows in football and both men's and women's basketball will be shortened 15 days. So, of course, it used to be 45 days. Now it's shortened to 30 days. So the season transfer window will open from March 24th through April 22nd in men's basketball, and would open and close a day later for women's basketball.
30 days to find another job. So my thing is, you better keep in contact with that bag man from other schools.
Yeah.
You think things are not going right. I remember when I was going to transfer and things didn't go well for my school in Oklahoma, I had a guy and I'm like, hey, this is not working. Call this guy. You know?
Yeah.
But you got to have that middleman because they have all those other rules
where
you can't talk to the coaches directly during season.
And that was back when the shoe deals and like Adidas, they had a representative.
Mm-hmm.
And that person would work out deals like, hey, said player is thinking about transferring. What do y'all think?
Mm-hmm.
Our said player or said coach said, you know, if you're thinking about making a move, look his way first. And then said coach would say, oh, well, I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
You know, or go to that JUCO first and then we'll come get you.
Yep.
But it's not like that anymore. It gives the kids a lot of freedom of saying, all right, it ain't working here. Let me jump ship. Because I've seen some kids that are on their third, fourth school.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, and they ball, like still playing.
Balling, yeah.
So yeah, it's a give take thing, I believe, and we'll see how it goes from here. All right, so Yahoo Sports and The Athletic partner to launch a new digital destination for comprehensive women's sports coverage. So Yahoo Sports and The Athletic announced a partnership on Thursday to create a new home for comprehensive women's sports coverage. The destination, a women's sports hub for Yahoo Sports website and app, will guide fans to written audio and video content produced by Yahoo Sports and The Athletic. The coverage will be free and available globally. A subscription to The Athletic is not required.
So making women's sports more accessible.
Mm-hmm. What y'all think about that?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it because there's, and it was the other day. I think it was NFL games on, plus MLB was on, and the opening game of the WNBA finals, and they still got large viewership.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the largest of their of the playoffs for the WNBA.
Probably because of sports betting. I'm not saying that, you know, the Minnesota and Liberty are not good teams to watch, but listen, if there's no football games to put money on, look for that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
the other day they had football on and baseball, and their opening game still had viewership. But that's why I say I like this, because now it people don't have to look for it. Like you don't have to go to ESPN 12 to find the W. You know, it's a lot more accessible where you can go online and find these games. And those are the different things that are needed to grow women's sports, is to be able to make them more accessible. Because I remember, especially as the WNBA season started, like people online asking, like, you know, what channel do I go to watch this game? How do I catch this game? And it's not like NBA on TNT on Thursdays, like where you have a set day where you can see it. And I think that's one thing that the WNBA needs to work on. Why are we having these games to try to compete with leagues that are already prime time on Sunday night or whatever it is? But once we were able to work out those things, I think it's going to help the sport a lot more.
I think they'll figure it out and figure out a scheduling, because, you know, right now, as you know, the NFL doesn't care about any other sports now. Like they're on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday,
every day except Tuesday.
Well, there's a demand for it.
Yeah,
and
they're not wavering. It used to be when basketball season started, it substituted that Sunday, that like you waited for football to be over to have that Sunday basketball game. Now it's just that you gonna have to figure it out.
And you know what's funny about that is I was talking to somebody about the Christmas Day games. That used to be slated for only NBA. Like that's when the NBA, the players brought out their new sneakers. You got the Grinches. You got all this coverage for NBA. Now
Back burner.
The Chiefs are playing on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And I don't blame the NFL because if somebody's going to pay for it, like Amazon, if Amazon's going to say, hey, we'll pay for your Christmas Day games, why not take the money? You know, if there, like you said, like if there's a need for it and if there's a want from us as fans,
there's a demand. If football's on, people are going to watch it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But I feel like there was still a little complaint that you had the league decided to put these games on when like on a Sunday when you know that's a football day.
That was a tough thing to watch too, especially during the season, because it would be like a Sunday, but then you'd have 5 games on at 3:00, but then the 6, 7, 8 o'clock hour, there's no games.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense. Like, why are you expecting WNBA fans to tune in to all 4 or 5 games that's slated on this day at the same time? Whereas, again, you look at the NFL on Sunday. If they're in London, they start at 8 a.m.
Yeah, of course. They don't care.
Then everything else
you're going to watch it. You're going to watch it.
Yeah, everything else starts at noon.
Yep.
And from noon until 10:30 at night, you could watch football.
All day.
And that's where the WNBA needs to get. The WNBA needs a day, and not necessarily a day, but at least 2 or 3 days out the week that you can claim for your own. So now you have a 5 o'clock start here, and then a 7 o'clock start here, and then an 8 o'clock start here. So, and being able to stagger the game so more people can view in. But
Roger Goodell's not caring about that.
Yeah, and I would say Mondays, but you got NFL on Mondays. You got NBA on Tuesday. Well, NBA used to, and it's the network because NBA used to be Tuesday, Friday.
And the WNBA is mostly in the summer, so they don't have to worry about that.
Still NFL coverage. We talking about all season training camp.
There's more coverage in WNBA this summer this year. This past year.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more coverage. It could be a lot more honest coverage.
Yeah.
But there's some coverage, and the NFL season is boring at the beginning. So
is it
being we talk about it week 6 to 8. It don't start kicking up till week 6 to 8.
You talking about the competition and playoff pitches, whatever, man. But with this gambling and
gambling does change a lot, and I think it's gonna help change a lot for the women's game. But
I feel like that commercial now, man. Like, after Sunday and Monday football, it's like a downslope, and I'm waiting on Thursday. Thursday, like, listen,
it is like that.
I'm waiting on that narcotic, man.
It's like you scratching, man.
Listen, I jump up like, yo, it's last night. I'm putting together my parlay or whatever. I'm like, yo, just one more day. I'm 5-0 in one of my biggest leagues, and I'm down 13-20. 2 players already down. I'm like, man, I got to beat this. Like, listen, Roger Goodell and them are taking over. How many Peacock subscriptions did we get when they randomly put the games on Peacock? Like, I'm coming up with an email now to use if they do it again. Sorry, Peacock. You guys don't have to.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show.
The host. It's my opinion. Because y'all doing it too. The game's on Peacock. Who got Peacock? Yo, let me get that password. Come on, we all listen.
Man, we've been talking a lot of NFL. How about some NBA, man? NIL company co-founded by ex-NBA player Kendrick Perkins is accused of predatory practices. So an NIL company co-founded by former NBA player Kendrick Perkins in February faces scrutiny after an ESPN investigative report found the company used predatory practices to offering high-interest loans. The company is called Nilly. And it offers athletes upfront payments in return for the use or sale of an athlete's name, image, and likeness for up to 7 years as a part of the agreement. Nilly and its backers foot advances to its athletes, and then in return receives a cut of the NIL earnings from the player. So agreements can vary both in terms of what the athletes are offered up front and how long Nilly gets exclusive NIL rights. They're offered guaranteed money, but give Nilly and its investors huge cuts of the money, up to 50% earned by their clients.
These are like Motown record deals.
That's what I was just about to say. These are music industry record deals, and it's funny seeing the light shined on that because it's worked for the music industry forever.
Well, I think it shined on it because it's Kendrick Perkins, his brother. I think there's other other companies out there that's doing that. I think there's other companies out there that's doing that. That is taking advantage of these kids and giving them this lump sum money or whatever. But
no, that's very similar to record deal contracts. Like we give you an advance, and then you got to pay the advance back plus this interest, and we get to keep.
You got to pay
80% of the profits.
Yep.
For 10 years. And you know you're not going to be in college for 10 years. And then that's when they start getting to the real money. Let's just say one of these guys goes pro.
I say one of these guys.
And your name, image, and likeness, you got a rookie card that sells for X amount of dollars. They own 50% of that.
50% of that. or you're projected as a second round pick and you go in the fourth round. And then your money changes. And now
you owe
instead of a couple mil, now you know, $900,000 a check. And you got taxes.
Ooh. And that's these protections that we need for these young players.
Wild West.
Because it's I would almost guarantee that their client base is majority of black players.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because Kendrick Perkins doesn't come from money.
But do you look at Kendrick Perkins in this situation as an endorsement, or is he the owner of the company?
He owns 50% of the company. So he has say.
Listen.
That's snaky there.
Well, listen, when it comes down to impoverished black Americans that make it up there like those dominoes that Jay says, when you get to that threshold and then you look down, it's either your money or their money. And I'm always going to protect my money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
So the company nearly offers athletes upfront payments ranging from $25,000 into hundreds of thousands, said Kendrick Perkins and his co-founder, Wall Street veteran Chris Riccardi. In return, Nilly gets the exclusive rights to use or sell the athlete's name, image, and likeness for up to 7 years, and the company and its investors receive between 10% and 50% of the player's NIL earnings during that time period. So Nilly has contracts currently with 20 athletes, all football and men's basketball players who are in college or high school, per ESPN. One such contract obtained by ESPN detailed that a $50,000 payment to a high school senior was made in exchange for exclusive rights to sell the players NIL for 7 years. Nilly and its investors, backed by a strategic partnership with Harlan Capital, received 25% of the players' NIL earnings for the length of the contract or until Nilly earns $125,000. Part of the deal stipulates routine upkeep and occasional use of the player's social media, as well as autograph sessions and appearances. So once you get that $50K, you don't receive anything until they get $125,000.
That, man.
Yo,
it's like them car loans, buy here, pay here.
Yeah, it's Kendrick Perkins is no different because it's predatory lending, right? So he's no different than
Bank of America, Chase Bank.
No. He's no different than, XYZ loan company popping up on 55th and Prospect.
Yeah.
Saying, come get this loan. We'll give you $125, but you gonna pay us back $1,000.
Yeah. Look before
and you'll never get out of that deal.
Look before you sign, man.
Yeah.
Look before you sign.
But I kind of blame parents too on this. Whether you know or you don't know, there's still education. There's still something with support your kids, and if you're supporting your kids, then you would know.
But how do you protect against that? Because you have this Kendrick Perkins, this guy who you see on TV
look
with
like
NBA players.
I'm gonna take care of your kids.
And saying I'm gonna do this. It's literally the same thing as
the blind leading the blind,
as record deals. And it's crazy looking at this because as a parent, you see Kendrick Perkins and you already have a certain level of trust.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And
the way he talked, the way he looked. Yeah.
I mean that, but everything you've seen preceding that. Like, this is a guy we've seen on TV next to Kevin Durant and James Harden, and the list can go on. And people might not know him from basketball, might not know his number, but they know his face because they see it enough, and especially around NBA. And if you're trying to get to that point, you're going to trust this guy.
That's true. All right. One guy we should or should not trust is Aaron Rodgers. He's denied having input on just firing of head coach Robert Saleh. He's saying he had nothing to do with it. He said the NFL is a tough business, and it is what it is. Let's hear from Aaron Rodgers.
As far as any of the ridiculous allegations out there, I'm not going to spend more than one sentence in response to it, and that is that I resent any of those accusations because they're patently false. And it's interesting the amount of power that people think that I have, which I don't. But I love Robert, and it was, one of those days yesterday.
So yesterday, thank you for saying all that. And obviously, they'll take something you said there and chop it up and then say,
"Oh yeah, for sure."
To kind of thing. That's the world we're in. Journalistic standards.
I don't care.
Respect.
That was courtesy of friend of the show, Pat McAfee. Aaron Rodgers joins his show at least once a week. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on this, because do y'all feel like he had anything to do with this firing?
Yes,
he did.
Okay.
If he would have hugged, if he would have hugged Robert that time when they scored and it didn't look like it was combative, then yeah. If there wasn't a different statement made when he went to Egypt during training camp, then yeah.
Yeah. There's smoke, there's fire, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. And that's crazy. That's crazy to put the power like that in the player's hands. Is this similar to a LeBron in the league?
Oh, of course.
I wouldn't say that.
Nah, LeBron, he done buried a lot of coaches, man.
Yeah,
coaches, players. Y'all know what he did to get AD.
No,
Shoot.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if we can compare this, because when LeBron makes those moves, the team doesn't blow up like this. And looking at Aaron Rodgers and the play that he's had over the last 4 years, he shouldn't have that type of pull. And that's why I'm saying, like, comparing this to LeBron, like you have a LeBron and Aaron Rodgers, like, okay, Aaron Rodgers won one championship, but this is also LeBron that's been competitive for years and years and years.
Football, I would say, is a little different. I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, how does one single player have this power in football?
Well, they said that the reports was going on how what this happened is that you wasn't there in the locker room. Like like you didn't experience what we was experiencing as working with him, being a co-worker of Robert Saleh or whatever. And I think it probably had to do with difference of opinions and different things that were going on with management, because Aaron Rodgers did bring over, Nathaniel Hackett. He was allowed to take that trip to Egypt, but then nothing was done to him to where he missed practice. But then Robert made that statement like, oh, no, this was unexcused. So I think the power from Robert was probably taken away, and then trying to exhort that power to keep the cohesion of the team in the locker room together. But then Aaron can still do what he wants, and then he has the owner calling him from time to time.
So that's what I'm saying.
So you're trying to, you as the leader, you're trying to be the leader, but then your words are somewhat watered down because you have this guy over here, and then you're losing.
And so now we see why the Jets have been such a poor organization for so long.
What McCole Hardman was talking about.
Because I don't even remember McCole.
Helmets on it. It was a different culture. Helmets on the ground in practice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
But that's indicative of the organization, because if I'm an organization looking forward, who's going to give you more production out of? Is it going to be long term? Is it Aaron Rodgers, or is it the coach? Like, right. And you don't have more than 3 years in Aaron Rodgers. I'll be surprised if you get 2 more seasons out of him. So
this year.
So looking forward, like, why would you get rid of a coach like that? And especially a coach that somewhat turned the team around.
Well, it depends on the management style and structure and how he leads the men. It's a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you bring in Aaron Rodgers, and now he causes all of this contention in a coach that you just brought in along with him. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense long term. And now that Steve brings up McCole's comments, like it's starting to make sense.
Different culture.
If your foundation and your structure is right, then I think it's hard to let that one entity kind of disturb that, because if you're doing things well management wise and structure wise, and you have a system, and this is your system, and everything is professional from top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like certain little things, i.e. nice locker rooms, nice practice facilities, nice workout, and everything is grade A. then the players kind of fall in like that, and it's the cohesion.
But not if you losing. It only works if you winning. Like all that's out the window if you winning.
And that's funny you mentioned that because the Chiefs, by the players, have the worst rated facilities. But then
they have, I would say, probably good management. Like the structure and the foundation of it, right? Like there's a system that's in play
while they're winning, yes.
Right. I mean,
because Tony Gonzalez left on bad terms with them.
Well, so that was a different front office, though.
It was.
I mean, very different, but still the same ownership.
Yeah,
so
it has to be. You got to watch the Hard Knocks and see how these people listen. These GMs, these assistants, they're people just like us, and they go to management school and they do things, and it has to be a structure and it has to be a process.
It definitely does. Yeah,
but I feel like it's age too. I feel like if you got a GM that's like, and I don't want to just throw the Chiefs out there. But you look at Brett Veach, he's around our age, right? We talk to players all the time. We able to relate to these guys. They can relate to you like, oh, we used to play, whatever. And he's able to give the message that ownership wants to give in a different way and spin it in a different way. And that way they're able to understand like, hey, man, this is what it is. You got to do this, and that, and we're going to make it happen. And I feel like that's why. And then Andy Reid, he's a player's coach. So then Andy Reid is really the one calling the shots. But then you get Brett Veach, who's there as well. And it's kind of like, all right, we're gonna do what we need to do for y'all. And they understand it. And they see what they do with other people. But to answer same page. But to answer your question, I think the difference between LeBron, what LeBron did, and Aaron Rodgers is like with LeBron, there's an end in sight. Right, there's an end to his means, meaning like, are we getting AD? So we letting all these guys go, and that's but we want to win. All right, you fired your coach. Now what? And that's what I'm saying.
NBA
like,
players have a lot more.
Like and that's what I'm saying. LeBron has more pull because again, like he can play the GM because yes, I interact with these players, I play against them or with them. Like there's certain things in line. Aaron Rodgers is not the glue in that locker room.
And the other thing is,
and he's never been, even with the Packers. Like he had issues with his coaches back then. And that's what and I think that's the point that I'm getting to is when do we get to a point where we can say that Aaron Rodgers is the problem and not receive backlash from that.
I don't care about the backlash. Aaron Rodgers is the problem. You look at his first relationship, see how those relationships went, and you look at his second relationships. The difference between him and LeBron on other levels is that guaranteed.
We can't take away Aaron Rodgers as a winner though.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
Like we garnered this to be able to do that though.
We can't take away that, but starting with Mike McCarthy, he's got a trail of dead bodies when it comes to coaches.
True.
Yeah, he's odd, dog.
True. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll talk some Deion, another coach that has expressed his displeasure with late kickoffs. We'll be right back. This is the W Show.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. You can tweet us, you can X us, whatever it is, and message us, whatever. We'll talk about any topic. Just send us a message. All right, continuing on with our headlines. This one's pretty interesting. So Deion Sanders, he's really upset with the NCAA right now. And he said he's mad about their late playoff game. So the Colorado Buffaloes will kick off at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time against Kansas State. And he's mad about it. He said on Thursday on his coach's show, who does that? I mean, who has the power to sit up there and say, yeah, I'm going to make them play at 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time? So he was then told that a television network they decide the times, and Sanders questioned why his team got bumped such a late start. He responded, but how stupid is that? It's not smart. It's not smart for a television executive to say we're going to be put on a game at the same time. But because we're thinking of the eyeballs that's going to watch us, you're thinking about selling merchandise and the commercials. You're thinking about all that. Why would you put us at a time when half America is asleep?
Hurricanes got done at like 1 o'clock in the morning last week.
Yeah.
Slide them wherever the money's at.
Exactly. That's my thing. It's like, if you're winning, then you can kind of call those shots. But your team ain't the top team in America. So, like, how can you call the shots on when y'all going to play and when y'all not going to play?
And I feel like it's a little I think it's not a good move because Hunter and his son Sanders are Heisman Trophy candidates.
Yeah. So you saying he has a right to be upset?
Yeah, I would be as the player. I would be like, here I am playing both ends of the field.
Yeah.
Something that's
and eyes ain't on me right now.
And like nobody's watching me. What's my guy's name? I don't want to mess up his name from Boise State.
Oh yeah, the running back. The running back. Yeah,
boy's cold.
Yeah.
How many people know about him?
Yeah.
like listen, watching a running back go against top defenses and to shred them.
Yeah.
For 9+ yards a carry.
Yeah. 12 yards a carry.
And it's 12:30 at night on the New York side, and I'm not watching this game.
And that's always the issue with like a top performer at a Boise State, at a Utah, at these different schools. Because I think Alex Smith was in the running when he was at Utah for the Heisman, but nobody really knew about him because he was at Utah. And so those Mountain West games really just kind of fall by the wayside. Is that what's happening to Colorado in the Pac-12?
Yeah, but they losing. Like no network wants to put you on. Like, why does networks want to have the Chiefs on? Because they can sell bills. I mean, they can pay bills, right? Like they're able to garner a Coke sponsorship or a whoever sponsorship.
And Pat's he's interracially marketable.
Yeah, but they still marketable by their wins. Like what they're going to do, what he's going to do on the field, no matter what he look like, because you get Lamar Jackson in those same situations. And
how many commercials you see Lamar Jackson?
But I'm talking about just being on TV on network.
Right.
They're as their team because they can go out there and win. People want to see teams that win. They also want to see the bad guy. Like they want to see the villain. I mean, look at how many times Tom Brady was villainized. Like he was the villain, and they put him on.
But he was villainized, and he was loved, and he was.
Yeah, I mean,
California boy.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. He has a right to be upset, but then you got to go out there and win as well.
And they have to think about the kids, man. Like, listen, I get done at 2:00 in the morning, and I got to fly back.
Yeah, I might care about all that. Y'all kids, go to school, go to class.
I might care about that. Okay.
All right, so Texas athletic director expects NCAA House settlement to raise expenses for the athletic department by $11.5 million a year. So the Texas athletic director, Chris Del Conte, outlines how University of Texas athletic department finances will be affected by the House settlement. So in a letter to Texas boosters, Del Conte said that Texas is projecting to pay between $22 million and $23 million to its athletes as a part of NIL remuneration. He also said that expenses for the athletic department will need a projected $11.5 million more annually.
I mean,
that's some money. That's crazy. That's crazy. You expecting to pay $22 million amongst all your athletes in your school? That's a lot of money.
No, it's a lot of money.
It's not.
How many athletes you think are in any university like Texas? Texas is a big school.
Texas is a big school.
I wonder how many athletes they have.
When you look at those programs, I mean, you're easily over 200 athletes.
200, but divide 22 million amongst 200 athletes,
and that's what I'm
You're
saying.
Still getting some money.
Yeah,
I think Becky on the water polo team is probably left out.
You think so?
Man, listen,
yeah, because I don't think they're paying equestrian, and I don't think they're paying water polo. Yeah, because I've done some sports banquets for K-State, and they have a lot of different sports.
Yeah, and Texas is bigger. Yeah. All right, Haason Reddick. He was traded to the Jets and had never reported. So he's been cut off by his agents. So Reddick is reportedly no longer represented by CAA, also known as Creative Artists Agency, as he continues to rack up millions of dollars in fines, refusing to report to the Jets after they acquired him via trade from Q's Philadelphia Eagles. So Reddick was entering his final 3-year, $45 million deal, under which he was guaranteed to make $14.25 million in base salary this season. He's forfeiting a game check of about $800,000 for each one which he doesn't play. And that, on top of that, he has a lot of fines that surpass $5 million, including over $2 million for missing all of training camp.
So why is he saying he's holding out? Have we heard from him?
He wanted a new contract.
Yeah, he wanted a new deal before they traded him, or
and they knew that when they traded him. Yeah. So naturally, when like, hey, this player wants a new contract, we're not going to take on this new contract. You guys give us this draft capital or whatever. And usually negotiations are already done before the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Jets didn't do that, and I'm guessing his agency fired him because his demands was too high.
Yeah,
and he was probably, not cooperating not only with the Jets organization, but with his agency. Like, and then he's losing money. Like, yo, we're not getting any money in.
Yep.
You're being difficult. But I think this should be talked about more on the national media scale, though, whatever, because, I mean, he's not a bum.
Right.
He's not a bum.
But here's the
second in sacks.
Here's the thing about it. Chris Jones did it, right? But the Chiefs knew that they needed Chris Jones. Like, they knew in order to win, he's a piece to our puzzle that's going to help us win. The Jets, they're in so much turmoil right now with the coach gone. They're what are they? 1-2, we're
2-3.
2-3. Their chances of actually making it are like, do we pay this dude? Do we not? Can he help us win? Yeah, he can help you win, but is he the missing piece that's going to put us over the hump? Yes. When offensively we're trash.
Well, offensively they were supposed to be better though. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Different organizations, different system, different. It's a lot of differences or whatever. And I don't know.
And I hate it for him because we've been talking about how the Jets and Aaron Rodgers are the problem.
Yeah. Maybe it's something else. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hater to Love It segment. Stick with us. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at KCWeSpin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com. Purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to after our show, use hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
It's that time for love it or hate it. Hate it. If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
All right, first up for our sneakers of the week, we have the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Howard Universities. Y'all like these?
They're okay. If I went to Howard, I'd probably like them.
How about the Air Jordan 4 RM, the women's pink Oxford?
I kind of like those.
Yeah, they're pretty fire. How about the Adidas Dame Lillard 9s Solar Reds? Y'all bet I say y'all like these because y'all been saying the Ant Edwards are ugly. And these similar.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, how about the Nike SB Dunk Low City of Cinema?
MIDI. It's a MIDI list this week because I would have liked those pink ones to be monochrome.
Ooh, I like that too, honestly. All right, Giants Malik Neighbors faces backlash after he was spotted at a concert following concussion diagnosis. So, although Neighbors hasn't been able to practice the past couple of weeks, he did recently spend some time enjoying a concert at Giants' home stadium in New Jersey. A video surfaced on social media showing Neighbors entering one of the stadium's tunnels as security personnel held concert attendees back. So Neighbors is one of the estimated 60,000 fans who watched hip-hop star Travis Scott perform in support of Utopia.
So what's the problem with him going to a concert with
concussion protocol? You got the lights, you got the sounds.
If it was anything else he attended, he could have been Odell Beckham on a boat rather than being at a concert that is known for loud music, pyroglyphics, whatever, all the other stuff.
Pyrotechnics,
And you over here and you got your bell rang where you sitting out for 2 weeks. Can't do that, man.
I've had a concussion. I don't see the issue.
But some people say they like the light hurt gives them headaches and all that stuff. So you in concussion protocol. You in protocol. Like if you can't play, like you at a concert but you can't play. He talks about the betting. It's a lot of money involved.
It can affect you differently with a concussion than other people, man. Concussions.
No, and that's what I mean. I had a mild concussion. I mean. Yeah, but
he's got millions of dollars behind his name to where he's supposed to be somewhere and play, and then you're going to do something to where it can aggravate it.
And then what if he's in a suite? So now he's not catching.
He was on the floor. He was on the floor kicking.
He was on the floor.
Yeah.
Even if he's in a suite, you can still hear the vibrations of the noise.
That's Travis Scott concert. Like they said that he called.
Yeah, because they must be. I've been to one of the best concerts I went to was the tour the Astro World tour. So it was definitely a really good concert.
Yeah.
And they mosh pit.
Yeah.
Now, if he was in a suite, yes.
Nah, he wasn't on the floor. He was kicking it. All right, Minnesota Twins are up for sale after 40 years under the Pollard family. So Minnesota Twins are officially up for sale, announced by the Pollard family on Thursday, less than 2 weeks after the team missed the playoffs for the third time. So Carl Pollard, he purchased the franchise for approximately 44 M's. And now it's currently valued at $1.46 billion. Can we get a loan for a billion?
I was about to say, let's get this check out, man. That's a good listen.
Man. All right, Packers Romeo Dobbs says he regrets skipping practice and meetings, which led to suspension. Hate it or love it. He said a report said that he missed practice and meetings because
you know, he hasn't been getting the playing time or the ball's thrown his way. And then he comes out and says, oh, no, it was because of mental health.
I don't know if I believe the report.
He went to one of the Travis Scotts and messed up his concussion.
The report might be a lie. So,
all right, Broncos. Riley Moss is the first white cornerback in 22 years to record an interception in an NFL game. Hate it or love it.
Jason Sehorn is somewhere smiling.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. A white cornerback is just like a white Leroy. It's very rare.
Man, all right. The Liberty trode the Aces with a pair of Timbs placed at center court after they headed to the WNBA Finals.
Love it.
Love that.
I love it too. It's like, man.
Especially playing against the league MVP. I love it.
All right. Last one, but not least, the NFL is investigating Steelers wide receiver George Pickens over explicit eye black worn and lost to Cowboys. Hate or love it.
That's some T.O. stuff right there, baby. I love that. I love that.
His eye black had the phrase always effing open. Always.
Love it.
Across the eye black.
T.O.
Yeah, I like that too. All right, we appreciate everyone who joined in on today's show and hung out with us on another Saturday morning of the W Show. Remember, you can catch a rewind of our show on Mondays. Same time, 11 a.m. to noon. Remember, if you want to interact with us, use hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about it. Until next week, we are out of here. Peace.
The views and opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliate.